Judge, prosecutors, and supervisors, here we are once again, and just in case you have already forgotten, my name is Tony Roman. Your state court scheduled a new hearing for today, this time for the second group of silly charges your department filed all the way back in August of last year. For some reason, your agency insists on wasting everyone's valuable time, so I will begin by addressing you all briefly once again, but will then move on with my message and speak directly to the man who has you like puppets on a string. Look, I made myself perfectly clear in my last video message that I will reject any invitation to appear and defend myself for something that needs no defense. I will give you no authority over us where you have none, because we both know that there have been no real crimes or violations committed here. So you can stop already with the constant barrage of stacks of legal paper you send me. It's obvious as millions of Americans have had their jobs ripped away, you bureaucrats have kept yours, pushing your pencils, wasting taxpayer dollars, processing worthless documents I don't even read. You pay quack scientists and so-called expert witnesses who have nothing better to do and who don't even believe their own testimony, perjuring themselves, and I will remind you that you're using our tax money to fund your attempt to prosecute us. It's like stealing our kitchen knives and trying to stab us in the back with them. It is instead all of you who must defend yourselves for willfully violating our constitutional rights, as your own supervising agents have admitted doing under oath, and ironically agents of your own department who are scheduled to be at your hearing today, there to try and prosecute me, have privately expressed understanding and support for our positions, just like members of your fellow state agency, Cal OSHA. Look, I have gone over all of this already in my previous video message. If some of you haven't seen it, then I suggest you go to makerestaurantsgreatagain.com and watch it. So today I will just give you all a pass for now, and again won't be embarrassing any of you today by naming names, potentially costing you your jobs, because it is clear that you know not what you do as you continue to just make up the rules as you go. I actually feel sorry for all of you and your lack of courage to do what you know is right. I know it's your boss who intimidates you, making you feel the same fear he pressures you to inflict on small business owners, to threaten honest, hardworking people who have invested everything they have to try and achieve the American dream for themselves and their families. It is clear that all of you are simply harassing us to satisfy your master. So I will now move on to him, the real source of all of this nonsense, the person ultimately responsible, the person I refer to as the tiny tyrant in Sacramento, Gavin Pelosi. Hey Gavin, I'm talking to you. Your attacks on us, a small Italian restaurant minding its own business, started with a criminal case initiated against us last year by your attack dogs you call your strike teams, followed by multiple accusations of ABC violations, threats to revoke our valuable and hard-earned liquor license, and even an OSHA search warrant. As you attack and look to punish honest, hardworking Americans, you open the jails and release real criminals, violent criminals onto our streets, endangering innocent law-abiding citizens. You invest resources in locking down churches while you help unlock our border and kick the door wide open for anyone to enter. You rob children of their education, but defend sex offenders who prey on them. So I have since, on social media and in the news publicly, demanded that you either officially file charges and face us in criminal court before a jury of our peers, or get the hell out of our way, and still not a peep out of you. What you don't seem to understand is that our stand is different than others you have faced. Ours is uncompromising and unbreakable because it's not about our right to run a business, earn an income, pay our rent, and save our business. Our stand has always been about something so much bigger than ourselves. Our fight is only about one thing: to defend American liberty and freedom, and it begins and ends there. And to be clear, we aren't trying to make a political statement. You will never find campaign signs or party affiliations posted anywhere at our business or on social media. What we have done is not about being a Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative. We are simply patriots who love our country, and what we are fighting for should be important to every American. So in this fight, as we have said so many times before, we have dedicated our business as a constitutional battleground, willing to risk everything for the sake of doing our part to help defend and preserve America as we knew it. As you and your shady gang try to dismantle everything we cherish that makes this the greatest and freest country on earth, and we would have done the exact same to defend, even if our business and location was just a plot of dirt with a door on it. This showdown between us all comes down to our will to defend liberty and freedom versus your apparent will to wage a war of tyranny on American citizens. Between the two, you know you don't stand a chance. So I will make things easy and again in open defiance, lay it all out for you. Since the first day of your lockdowns, the forced self-imprisonment of my fellow Americans, we have operated openly and fully, inside and out, with zero restrictions. We have never shut down anything for 1 second. We do not run from your threats, but instead thank God for putting us on the front lines of this fight, blessing us with this opportunity to go into battle against you and the legions of American-hating zombies who worship people like you. We have even flouted your tyrannical, arbitrary, inept mandates. To name just a few, you mandated masks, the greatest weapon of the lockdowns, a symbol of control, fear, and surrender, and we banned them. No one is allowed into our restaurant wearing one. You imposed a 10 p.m. curfew, and we extended our hours. And when actions such as these made the heads of your anti-American supporters explode, the members of your mini Gestapo went on the attack, making death threats, threatening my life personally, threats to burn down our restaurant, to spread the virus inside, and flooding the internet with 1-star reviews, along with your Hollywood elitist pals launching boycotts against us. What do? We responded by erecting a billboard taunting them. And some even say to us, because of our actions, we have big balls. But what's really big is the heart we have to fight for our country, and every time you go on the attack, our hearts get even bigger. I know what you're now thinking. Since none of your threats to scare us into complying worked, then maybe you should just have cut off our water and electricity. But no, you need to think more like your loser fascist hero Mussolini, as he long ago cut the supply of pasta to his own Italian citizens when trying to control them. You see, as my great friend Doug once said, being an Italian restaurant, you would have had a better chance of shutting us down if you cut off our supply of olive oil and garlic. We know the game. It's all set up for you little dictators to win either way. So in the future, people are conditioned to go into lockdowns for any given reason. Number of cases go down, and you can try and justify more shutdowns by saying, see, they worked. And if cases go up, you can say, see, we need to lock down harder next time. But you know damn well science has no bearing on freedom. Show me where the word science is used anywhere in our Constitution as a basis for infringing on our liberties. What you seem to forget, though, is that our position represents many millions of freedom-loving people around this state and this country, those who come from far and wide to support us. We are no longer just a restaurant, but in spite of you, a gathering place of American patriots, where we roll 1776 style, where a movement has taken hold, and this is why you might now find yourself barely clinging to power. So here is an idea for you, Gavin, one I have shared with so many other government agents you have also pressured to enforce your mandates. Try this. Look in the mirror, examine your conscience, remember the oath you took, and stand down and stand with us. For the first time in your life, stand on the side of American liberty and freedom. Stop with the political theater already. Then you won't have to sneak away and hide from the cameras again when wanting to dine out with a group of your friends and without masks. Hell, I may even let you take a peek inside my restaurant to witness vintage America. If when there on the steps in front you admit to your mistakes, issue an apology to all Californians for the pain and suffering you have caused them and for the wreckage you have made of their small businesses. And most importantly, you must also officially announce you are stepping down as governor, effective immediately. But before you resign, I call on you to order all state judges to drop all charges against all California business owners who have defied your reckless mandates, and for you to urge all of your fellow governors to do the same in their states, especially the wicked witch in Michigan demanding that she released from jail immediately Marlena Pavlis Hackney, a business owner and brave American patriot who fled communism to only sadly experience the same thing here. Instead, it is the witch who should be in prison for treason. And because of your arrogance, if you ignore these conditions, then at least stop embarrassing yourself by sending your version of the Soviet secret police to our restaurant to do your dirty work for you. Why don't you instead find some courage, come down and face me yourself, man to man, and we could take it from there. Because look, Gavin, we aren't backing down. We won't ever surrender. We will never dishonor the founders of our nation who risked it all when gifting us the protections of our God-given freedoms. And we won't dishonor our brave soldiers who have, over the last 244 years, given their lives defending those gifts. So stop acting like a wannabe little dictator. This isn't North Korea. This is the United States of America, the land of the free and home of the brave, a place where a cowardly, shrinking man like you is weighing over your head. Never forget that you're just an elected public servant who will soon be rendered to the ash heap of history, and you will only be remembered for the way you have betrayed the trust of American citizens, the same way you once betrayed the trust of your own deputy chief, staff, and campaign manager. Doing what you did to him, a very close friend of yours, should have disqualified you from holding any office ever again, and your man card should have also been revoked. Instead, it's time for you to surrender before it gets really embarrassing for you. All right, I'm done with you for now. Next, I want to address those of you who claim to be American patriots. I lose my patience when I hear many of you thanking and praising your governors for slowly handing back your freedoms, talking as if you have Stockholm Syndrome. Especially those of you who live in states like Mississippi, Texas, and even Florida, where your governors have R's in front of their names. These governors try and rebrand themselves as heroes, suddenly coming to your rescue to free you from your detention. But they are not American heroes. They have behaved like American traitors. Any elected government officials who have locked you down and who have enforced any shutdown restrictions for even 1 minute can never be trusted to lead again, and also should never be allowed to run for office in this country again, not even for dog catcher. A new standard must be set for all future candidates, who must first demonstrate they will lead guided only by the principles of the U.S. Constitution, respecting the foundation for which our nation was founded upon, and nothing less can be good enough and would be a slap in the face to the people we honor in our fight. And if we settle for anything less, we are destined to experience all of this all over again, deserving what we get. In March 2020, you were asked to self-imprison for 15 days, and because of low standards, most of you surrendered, allowing the snake in the door, enabling the enemy of freedom to creep inside and destroy our American way of life, infecting you and accelerating only the spread of the most dangerous virus of all, the virus of fear. And whether you know it now or not, your reluctant subjugation has damaged your self-respect and has demoralized your spirit. As Americans, you shouldn't have locked yourself down for 15 seconds. And if you have voluntarily shut down your business, thinking when reopening, things will feel normal again, they won't. Your business has forever lost a part of its soul, if it's ever had one. It will never feel the same, with the scars of surrender a part of its history forever. You can now only heal by opening now and doing it fully and boldly. And if inside there are still any symbols of the lockdown, starting with masks, then you are not truly open. So I ask you to make this pledge, should they ever try this again, that you will also take a hard, uncompromising stand as we have, in an all or nothing fight to defend our freedoms. Because when standing together in this way, the enemies of freedom don't stand a chance. Remember, you are Americans, so next time act like it. The rest of the world is watching. And to all of you who make the ground under your feet your own constitutional battleground, no matter where you are when facing the enemies of freedom, we stand with you, just as you have loyally with us throughout. You have our respect, our gratitude, and your support will never be forgotten. You will forever be part of our story. Until next time, leave the mask, take the cannoli, make restaurants great again. God bless my mother Rose and the good fellas of Basilicos, and God bless America.